Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Now, Rod Stewart had a lot to say about Harry and Meghan's 6-week break from royal duties, specifically their Christmas vacation in America for the holidays. He's quoted as saying he was disappointed that the Duke and Duchess of Sussex have chosen to forego the family's traditional and supposedly intimate Christmas celebration at Queen Elizabeth's Sandringham estate in order to spend the holidays with Meghan's mother, Miss Doria Ragland. The washed-up rocker continued, saying, quote, "I was a bit disappointed that Harry and Meghan have decided to not spend Christmas with the Queen this year. If I was Harry, I'd think there was plenty of time in the future to have Christmases on my own or with Meghan's mom. The Queen is 93. I flew around the world to be with my mom and dad at Christmas because I knew they didn't have many left," end quote. Now, it's important to note that this comes after many Sussex critics have lamented about Harry and Meghan taking their 6-week break over the holidays to get much-needed rest, and this is rest that they have well deserved for some time to come now. But as usual, those criticisms morphed into something else, and it became all about the Queen and her advanced age, with people saying what Stewart is basically saying word for word, which is this idea that we don't know how many Christmases the Queen has left. So my first question is this: why is it only a problem when Harry and his family spend time away from the Queen? Especially given that William and his family have often spent Christmases away to the Middletons. And as far as I know, the Queen has been old for quite some time, and that's no disrespect, but both she and Philip are enjoying life at an advanced age, and Philip has had many health challenges in the last decade. Yet no one gives William flack for visiting his in-laws, as they shouldn't. So the fact that many more voices, including Rod Stewart, are pushing the narrative that Harry is snubbing the Queen, that's very telling, and it makes you wonder just what is really going on here. Now, it's important to note that the Queen has given her blessing to Harry and Meghan to do Christmas their way. The statement from Buckingham Palace reads, "The Duke and Duchess of Sussex are looking forward to extending family time towards the end of this month. Having spent the last 2 Christmases at Sandringham, their Royal Highnesses will spend the holiday this year as a new family with the Duchess's mother, Doria Ragland. This decision is in line with the precedent set previously by other members of the royal family and has the support of Her Majesty the Queen." And you would think the statement from Buckingham Palace saying the Queen has given her blessing would be enough. So the fact that people are committed to ignoring facts is the real problem here. Because how can the Queen be snubbed if she gave permission in the first place? Now, Harry, who, need I remind you, is only the 6th in line to the throne, is regarded as if he is the next in line, or if he's in direct line to the throne. And it's interesting to see people and critics criticize Harry and Meghan for living as freely as we would expect the 6th in line in his family to live. But for some reason, people are holding Harry and Meghan to a higher standard than those who will one day be at the throne. Could it be because Harry and his wife are more influential? Possibly. But it's important to point out that unfairly criticizing them does not make them less influential. And frankly, it's disappointing to see someone like Rod Stewart echoing the likes of someone like Piers Morgan and other vile Sussex critics because the argument has no merit. And again, it makes you wonder why Rod Stewart allowed himself to be used as a tool in this way. And then to talk as if this might somehow be the Queen's last Christmas, despite her age, is frankly disrespectful to the Queen. For all Rod Stewart knows, the Queen could have more Christmases left than he does. And Stewart talked about visiting his mom and dad. Well, I'm sure Meghan would like to visit her mom at Christmas too. Does it seem far-fetched? For the last 2 Christmases, she has not been with her own mom at Christmas. And again, no one has had an issue with Catherine, for example, visiting her own parents and taking her children to be with them at Christmas time. It's really such an ugly tone and trend that we're seeing that despite all of the renewed positive attention the Sussexes bring to the royal family in the modern age, it's sad that people won't give them the respect they deserve when it comes to the decisions that they've made as a family as to where they want to spend Christmas time, for example. And it wasn't that long ago that these same critics were saying Meghan didn't even belong at Sandringham with the Queen. Now suddenly, the same folks want them to be there? Something is very odd about that. And as I've mentioned on my podcast before, I find it very hard to believe that these people actually care about how many Christmases the Queen has left. Sure, on some level, maybe they do care as a part of their culture. But when it comes to criticizing Harry and Meghan, that's not the first thing on their mind. What they care about is the freedom Harry and Meghan have in the world, and they resent it. I honestly believe that's what this boils down to, because Harry is, again, only the 6th in line. He can and should be able to do things his way. There is no fine line he has to walk, and his immense influence doesn't equate to him having to constantly care about other people's opinions regarding his whereabouts. And look, it's not Harry and Meghan's fault that people like them. They'll be in LA, which is Meghan's hometown. And whether they're staying at Doria's house is of no consequence. Surely they'll have incredible access to worlds other royals don't know, and likely never will. In fact, they have access that no royal has had since Princess Diana. Harry, Meghan, and Doria have had and will have, now and forevermore, VIP entry to any place in and around cities like LA, but especially LA, given that is Meghan's hometown, and that's what the haters despise. So to me, it comes down to this. Critics don't care about how much time the Queen has left. They care more about and resent the fact that Harry and Meghan are both a royal force and a cosmopolitan couple adored by those across the world. That's the beauty of being the 6th in line. One word, freedom. And it's about time outdated musicians and other would-be critics accepted that. And that freedom, more specifically the resentment of it, causes all kinds of people to write crazy, just plain nasty things about Harry and Meghan. Of course, we know they pile on Meghan. And that reminds me of a thread that I saw shared on Twitter about just that. The author said, I was having a conversation with someone about Duchess Meghan today, and what I gathered from it is that if you are not an avid royal watcher, and many people aren't, which is normal really, you tend to believe whatever is put out about her in online articles you come across. You even go ahead and form a conclusion about her based on those articles. So I heard the social climber and abandoning her white family arguments, and I gave my 2 cents worth. I wasn't a royal watcher before she came into the picture, and I must say, it took me some months to understand that what was being said in these articles I kept stumbling on was just a constant malicious attempt to undermine and degrade her. So I needed that deeper understanding of racism to be able to pinpoint attacks against her that were basically baseless and veiled attempts to correct her and get her to do things the right way. So Sussex Squad members need to know that the negative propaganda is not only having some kind of intended negative effect only in the West, but in the African continent as well. And some people here actually believe what they read, which is not their fault really. but an undeserved plus for royal reporters on a mission to discredit the Duchess and the causes she and her husband support. I found myself having to talk about Ioanini Meridiana and the support that Meghan has since shown her family and the foundation created in her honor, and this person had absolutely no idea about Ioanini. So our mission as people who closely follow the Duchess is to get people to understand her work prior and during royal life to better explain why we feel this has been a quest to attack her person and has carried on ever since word got out that she was dating Harry. So that pretty much sums it up for me. They want Harry and Meghan to fall in line, and if they don't, they'll just trash them in the press. It's a good thing that more people are seeing exactly what's happening. But y'all tell me what you think. Why are people so eager to criticize Harry and Meghan about their whereabouts? Don't forget to like and comment below, and you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Patreon for additional content. Until next time, thanks for watching. Bye.